Hi everyone, I'm Tim from troutandfeather.com and I have a special guest back with us. This is Mr. Ross Purnell of Fly Fisherman Magazine. Welcome back, Ross.
Hey, thanks.
You're welcome. Today we're going to talk about the fly fishing gear that Ross can't live without. So we're talking about the things that, doesn't matter if you're fishing in Pennsylvania, in the jungle, somewhere else, like these are the items you got to have with you. Are you willing to share these items today?
Yeah, I'll share my favorite things. I mean, sometimes you're fishing for trout, saltwater and stuff. It's not always going to be the same, but I'll share a few of my favorite things.
Okay, a few of his favorite things. Sounds like the start of
music.
A song or something.
Sound of music.
That's it, that's it. That will be our next sequence. Stay tuned. As fly fishers, you know, there's a ton of gear out there. We have so many choices. Some people, we walk into fly shops and we just say, I want a little bit of everything. Others are extremely minimal. I'm curious to find out where you fall on that scale and if you want to share a few of these items with us.
We talked a little bit previously about how I love fishing game changers, smallmouth bass. Yeah. I love river smallmouth. And the thing I can't live without is a Scientific Angler's Sonar intermediate line. Yeah. Like this line really sort of changed the game. And I fish that line more than any other line. It's super fun because it keeps the fly up there where you can still see it, but it sinks it enough so the fish can get after it. It has a narrow diameter, so it really cuts through the wind. I just love the taper on it for firing big flies up under the trees and stuff like that. And it's my go-to line. Like I cannot take a river trip unless I have that line all spooled up and ready to go. It is the bomb. Okay. Like you gotta have it.
Check it off. All right, this is a great line. You know, I love SA products. I love that they're independently tested. That's kind of one of my go-tos with them. Let's pick apart intermediate. For those people who don't know much about an intermediate fly line, what does that mean? How fast does it sink? Any tips you have with the leaders?
Well, I fish a lot of shallow rivers, so you really don't want to be dragging the bottom. And a game changer is a fly you never want to lose, so no. You don't really need it kicking along the bottom. You just need it to get it down under the surface so it's swimming correctly. I use the Sonar Titan Intermediate. The Titan has the mass and the taper for casting a big large fly, but it only sinks about 1.25 inches per second. Okay. And a lot of those game changers are just like neutral density, so they don't sink or they don't float. They're just like right there, just hovering right where they can get it. The fish often hit the fly on the paws when it's just sitting there hovering. So you don't want it diving or jigging up and down like a clouser minnow. So the intermediate line's perfect for it. It's clear, so that gives you a little stealthy advantage. So you don't have to build a long leader. Sometimes in late April and early May when I'm fishing and the rivers are up a little bit dirty, you can use that clear intermediate line and just put like 4 feet of 16-pound test fluoro on it, and you're golden. You don't need to build out a 3-part leader at all. I use fluoro not for the stealthy specs, but just for abrasion. Sometimes you're in branches in the trees, dragging over rocks. Don't want to lose that fly, so I like fluoro because it stands up to some abuse.
All right, what else do you have for us?
Going back to the nostalgia thing, a fly reel is important, despite what people. There's a bee bugging around me.
There's a bee going around both of us.
Despite what people tell you, a fly reel is an important part of gear. Yeah, and you will realize that once your reel gets bound up or screws up and you lose a big fish, it produces a lot of regrets if you don't have the right thing. But there's a lot of great reels out there. My favorite one, this is a little bit odd, but I have an Able Special Edition AC/DC reel. Yeah. And I love metal music. I love AC/DC and Metallica and Iron Maiden. And that AC/DC reel, to me, it's just the bomb.
Just speaks to you.
Every time I can get that out there, it's just like, it's gonna go hell's bells on those fish. So that's a special one for me. I love the AC/DC reel.
I love that answer, probably because I don't think anyone else has ever mentioned a fly reel before. I think, as Ross and I kind of were just mentioning off camera, it's kind of like a BS answer to say, hey, just hold the line. That's all a reel does. not true. I mean, I think about my Euro nymph setups. Like, I want a quality drag in case I do catch that one brown trout that's gonna try to rip it apart and just rip that line off. I mean, for my personal fishing, I'm a Lamson guy, but I also can think, like you said, nostalgia. Like 30 years ago, I was on the Missouri River for a month. It was like the best month of my life. And I remember like the Lamson reel I had then, and it was like a DC 25 or something. I think that was the name of it. And just having that reel today, I just look at that and it just brings back those memories of the Missouri River. And then the Able, I mean, it's such an awesome reel. I mean, besides the fact that they come in so many different custom colors and finishes, I think I saw baseball teams. I'm not even into baseball, but they look cool. So the fact that AC/DC speaks to you, I'm glad you have that one thing that you're just like, I can't go without this.
I think in fly fishing, you know, your reel is a chance to express part of your personality. Like all the fly rods sort of look the same. All of the jackets are tan. All of our waders are about the same color.
Yes.
But the reel, for some reason, is like our chance to get a little festive, whether it's with a Grateful Dead reel or a Texas flag or Colorado flag or just sunburst or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's our chance to express our,
That's right.
what is it, left side of the brain or something like that?
Something like that, yeah,
So
for sure.
that's, you know, it's our chance to have fun and not look like a bunch of clones. So I like those kind of reels.
I've noticed, this is maybe me watching social media too much. A lot of anglers now, they're taking it one step further. It's not just their reel, they're taking their fly line backing, maybe some of you are who I'm talking to, and they're even alternating the colors of their fly line backing to kind of, I don't want to say coordinate with their reel, but it's almost like they're getting creative with that. Are you the type of angler that you just have one color backing, that's what it is, or will you put multiple colors there to also accentuate stuff?
You're trying to out me, but yeah, I have picked backing. Oh, this color matches with this reel.
Yeah.
Who doesn't do that? Why not? It looks good. You know, I look at my reel, I want it to look cool.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't, because I typically will change my backing at like midnight the night before a trip. That's what so I'm grabbing whatever I have. But, and I've seen people who, it's like they'll put multiple colors of backing on their reel, like 4 different colors to really.
Rainbow.
Yes, it's a good look. Consider that, everybody.
But there's people that do it from a functional standpoint too. They'll do like 50 yards
So
of
they
this, 50
know,
of that, and they know,
Yeah.
okay, I'm this far from the fish. I think that's just introducing a lot of hazards.
All right, 2 down. What else do you have on your list of gear?
Well, I mentioned the AC/DC reel, so this might not be as wacky as you might think, but the last few years, I love going with my turtle box. Like to me, when I'm floating on a river fishing for smallmouth bass, I love having tunes.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
it makes the day amazing. I love it when you're tarpon fishing on the flats, like having some music playing and a cooler full of ice cold beer just, you know, makes the whole day amazing. Now, I'm not one of those guys that's going to annoy other people with their music. When there's other boats around, we don't do that at all. But here in Pennsylvania, I have the great pleasure of like my home river, the Juniata, and there's many other home rivers all around here. I mean, you can float there. There's 12 different boat ramps you can choose from. When I'm out there floating in my raft, I'm almost always by myself. There's no one in sight, there's no one in earshot. So I can play AC/DC on my turtle box or Snoop Dogg or whatever I want.
Well, let me pick this. So I'm thinking of AirPods typically. That's how, whenever I'm with guides, sometimes if we're running the boat, they'll have their AirPods in. Turtle box, I'm guessing this is like an external like Bluetooth speaker?
Yeah, it's a waterproof, you know, it's made specifically for boats.
Yeah.
It has amazing audio quality.
Okay.
You can throw it in the river, get it. You can be out there in a pouring rain. Like it's indestructible. It has like some tie down points. So when sometimes I'm in the raft, sometimes we're on stand-up paddle boards just on a river trip. So you can just like strap it right to your raft or whatever, and it can get absolutely soaked. I mean, it's submersible.
I love this.
You put it underwater, you can't hear it, but I mean, I've listened to music and the thing's just floating down the river beside us. So it's cool in that it's indestructible, and the audio quality is absolutely amazing.
All right, you start to say songs. We have to ask Ross his songs. I heard AC/DC and Snoop, but if they were going to be like 2 or 3 songs when you're fishing, you're like, I want these songs on either before you catch a fish or after you catch the fish, what are some of those songs?
Some of the songs. I'm a big Tool fan.
Okay.
So I think we'd be jamming to some 46 and Tool, 46 and 2, or Lateralus, or Jambi.
Yeah.
Would be some of the top ones. But I love putting on rap music. Sometimes when I'm fishing with different friends, they'll put on country music or whatever. I'm not hogging the tunes. I just like playing in the background. And one of the great parts about like floating in the raft or floating in the drift boat, you get to hear what other people like. So I'm not jamming my music down at people's throats. A lot of times it's just like a learning experience. Like, hey, let's listen to your playlist, and then my playlist grows.
Exactly.
I like music.
I love this. All right, we've been hearing about some of Ross's favorite gear, but let's take a quick time out because, as many of you may not know, Ross happens to be the editor of Fly Fisherman Magazine. You've been the editor for over 25 years. Let's just pretend someone out there has like no idea about the magazine and its resources. What can you kind of tell them about it to get them excited, because it's an awesome magazine?
Thanks. Good place to start is flyfisherman.com. There's a subscribe link there up in the top right-hand corner, so you can subscribe and get all of our new issues. The website itself is just packed with tons of old articles. I mean, there's archival stories there going back more than 25 years. Another great way to connect with us is through our YouTube channel, kind of our feature films and instructional stuff on casting. The bulk of the information, I'd say, is fly tying, instructional stuff from our Fly Tyers bench columnist Charlie Craven. So there's just tons of fly tying stuff on there. It's also fun to check out our Instagram account, Fly Fisherman Magazine. Tons of great photographs there, and conversations and teasers with photos coming up in the magazine. So we're all out there.
All right, lots of ways to connect. I'll put all that information down below in the description of this video. All right, back to the gear. Russ, what else can you not live without?
I love float fishing. My background before I started at the magazine, I was a fishing guide on the Bow River in Calgary, Alberta.
Oh, wow.
I was a drift boat guide, and then became a journalist, started working in newspapers, and ended up at the magazine. But I still love to float. Like, it's so fun. And you know, it used to be that only the guides had a drift boat, but this is a new era, and a lot of the inflatables out there are awesome. They're super durable. They're not that expensive. More and more average anglers are just like buying a raft, and I love my NRS Slipstream raft. The kind of fishing I do at home the most often is loading up that raft and pushing off and floating for smallmouth bass all day. And I just love it. Any day in the raft is super fun. Mine's a little 2-person raft. They have 3-person rafts. But I think, you know, my recommendation for gear you can't live without is get yourself a boat.
Yeah.
You know, then you're not stuck fishing with everybody else. You can bring more stuff. Maybe I'm lazy. You bring more stuff. You bring all the rain jackets. You can bring lunch. You can bring the turtle box. You can bring a dog. You know, you can make it a whole big event. I love it. I like, my raft is like certainly my most important piece of fly fishing equipment.
A great one.
Yeah, and everyone can have one.
Yes.
They're not that crazy.
No.
Like they're less than 4,000. You know, 4,000 bucks.
Yes.
You add a trailer, and man, you just control your own destiny. Master of your own destiny.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's lots of different sizes of rafts out there too, because you can go with a single person, you can go with this 2 to 3 person that Ross is talking about. Also keep in mind that some anglers, they don't like to fish out of these boats or these rafts. You don't necessarily have to. I know some people who will literally have a boat just to go spot to spot to spot. They'll get out of the boat, fish for a half an hour, then move on to another location. Just like Ross is saying, you get away from the crowds that way. So I love this thing. And any tips you have whenever you're fishing, besides bring someone to row?
Yeah, that's why I like the raft, because everyone has a different job.
Yeah.
I do a lot of stand-up paddleboarding and stuff on the river, but usually that's just joyriding. It's too hard to fish out of a kayak or a paddle. You know, you need someone to row, get you in position so you can make the proper casts into the right locations. One more great thing about these rafts are, like with the drift boat, you need a pretty serious trailer, and you know, a trailer can be a pain in the butt to try to maintain. There's lights and wires and license plates and stuff like that. But a lot of these rafts can go in the back of your pickup truck, or, you know, like my Slipstream, when I first got it, we just put it on top of the car. and you can just strap it down there. I mean, it weighs 100 pounds.
Wow.
So if you've got a rack,
yeah,
you're good to go. A little utility trailer is pretty easy, or if you've got a pickup truck, it just dumps right in the back. It's a piece of cake to transport. You don't have to use like an official boat ramp, you know, with a raft. You can just haul it down riverbank wherever you want and just go. It gives you so much freedom. I love it.
All right, we've gone through all of Ross's list of gear, and we're waiting for the most important one, or at least number 5. We'll see what this one is. What do you got?
I don't know about most important, but personal preference. Like, I think one of the greatest inventions in fly fishing in the last decade has just been sun hoodies. I mean,
yeah.
Oh man, I came from an era where we just got roasted with sunburn and got really nasty skin and wore stupid looking shirts with bad collars and vents in the back and pockets all over here.
You have to look the part.
Oh man, those shirts were ridiculous. I wore the most hideous shirts for forever. Now, thank goodness, we just have sun hoodies. And I love them. I mean, this might be a stupid one to put in there, but I think it's a great change. It's super simple and it's so effective. I hate sunscreen too. Like, I don't want to get skin cancer, but I do not like slathering stuff all over me. It gets on your fly lines, it gets on your rods. Like, I don't use sunscreen. I don't like sunscreen, but I want to stay covered up. I like the ones that either have a thumb hole, or Sims has one that has goes over your middle knuckle. Yeah. So it goes right over the back of your hands so that the back of your hands don't get roasted. You keep it up over your baseball cap so your ears don't get roasted. It keeps you comfortable, whether you're floating in a boat in Montana or in the jungle or in New Zealand. I mean, it's anywhere and it keeps you cool and comfortable. It's a great change from those stupid fishing shirts we used to wear.
I like that some of them also, they're quick dry. So if you get them wet, they dry in a reasonable amount of time. I've even seen some, I think by Sims, that have like this bug stuff built into them. So they keep bugs away. There's lots of these different nuances of these shirts, but they are great things out there.
Oh yeah, and they're super comfortable. Like a lot of them are really soft. Squala has one that's made from merino wool. Other ones are like rayon or bamboo fabrics that are really soft and comfortable to wear, so you're not itchy all day. Speaking of the bug stopper stuff, I have a really hot tip actually.
Oh, I'll take it.
This has worked for me all over the world. You take your sun shirt or your pants for that matter. You go to like Lowe's or any hardware store, you can buy spray cans of Sawyer is the brand, S-A-W-Y-E-R, permethrin. This permethrin chemical is the same thing that they use in the shirts before you buy them to keep bugs away. But you could treat your own shirts. Just take your regular stuff, spray it down, hang it on a hanger outside, spray it down once, twice. Like before I go to the Amazon, I spray all my sun shirts with permethrin 1 or 2 times. I don't have a problem with bugs and I don't have a problem with the sun. If you can take care of those 2 environmental factors, you can put up with a lot of, whether you're on the flats, there's bugs on the flats, man. People think there isn't, but if anyone has had trouble with doctor flies in the Bahamas or whatever, they're nasty. In Alaska, no-see-ums, white socks, mosquitoes. I mean, bugs are annoying, but you have a hoodie, treat it with permethrin. I think that's one of the most important tips that I can give to people.
Great tip. All right, we got Ross's gear list. Lots of great items on there. This has been like no one else's I've ever recorded before. Love it, that's a great thing. Though I will ask all of you, what did he leave off his list that you have on yours? Drop that down below in the comments. I would love to see some of the things that you can't live without, because as Ross and I were talking, I was thinking about my items, which were different than his, and I'm sure they're gonna be different than all of yours. And Ross, thank you again so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Hey.
We had a good time with this one, and I look forward to making more videos in the future.
It was great to chat. Thank you.
Thanks, Ross. Ross is one of many great guests I've had on troutandfeather.com, but I put all of those videos together in a playlist just for you. It should have popped up on the screen right now. Let's not stop the fun and learning yet. Click that playlist. You can thank me later.